in the jungle.
It's Xorn's Assassin Fanny Rome. This has been a very long time. We were wondering if something was up. Chibi has not confidently played this hero in so long. But with new changes comes new surprises, and Vamos are the first ones to bring something new to the plate. Ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into the land of dawn with the expanding rivers, bringing about a tide of change to MPL Malaysia.
Yeah, let's see how this change is going to affect, because instantly we see Xorn by Jaja's side on purple. He's got the steel cables active. He's going to try and go for the steal. I mean, he can What did he take? Okay.
Petrify Fanny.
It's Petrify Fanny, and he hits level 2 on time. Interesting. How?
You do get gold and EXP from opening vision.
Did he see Maima walk up? Is that why he should have been like he should have been level 1 at least 90% of his EXP. Or maybe I calculated that wrong.
Hard to say.
Yo, we need to see a replay of that. Did he spot 2 people or no? Did it only require just 1? I thought it would have triggered off 1, but okay.
Is Maima at the same level? He is.
Yeah, so he is.
It's not like Xorn also got EXP from the buff or anything like that. I guess that's just how it works now.
Yep, and there we go. Maima lost 50% of his HP, and Xorn back on the recall because he doesn't have access to purple buff, and he's going to rinse and repeat. He's going to keep chunking Maima and matdinz out.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, y'all really need to stay in your seats for this one, because the new patch is already starting off with some very interesting things. The very first expanded river current going to appear as the turtle is starting to get set up right here. So far, nothing too aggressive just yet. Just as I say that, matdinz trying to go in on the mid lane. Xorn doing some good damage, but it's not quite enough yet.
Yeah, they back away. They know that Chibi still has the heavy spin, but there's no way to force it out for sure without at least a bit of commitment. Munsters is nearby, does have that penalty zone to start the initiation, and that might almost guarantee Chibi to forcefully use the heavy spin. Unless Munsters, he's gonna try. Here we go.
Here comes Xorn as well. Heavy spin comes out. Chibi secures turtle, pins Moonster into the turtle pit. Mountain Shocker not gonna be able to do much. Jajaa picks up 1 kill, but loses his own life in exchange. And they also find the Terizla 1 for 2, and Vamos gets the turtle.
I'm surprised they even bothered to contest it. Keep in mind that Jajaa is not very strong in the early levels of the game. Not to mention that QT not able to participate in that fight as well. They needed all 4 of their members to make this work out. But Vamos, they're going to keep on pushing the tempo. Keep taking the trade. Xorn's already on towards that orange buff side. Does he get a solo kill here? No way he wouldn't, right? He would. Okay, he missed the initial one. Not a big deal. Forces out the Traceless as well. And instantly instigates the mid lane to move.
The arrow from Jajaa was lucky there. Actually, he managed to scout out Xorn at the tip. So because of that, he wasn't able to go for the aggressive play. So far, we haven't really seen this Petrify being used to its full effect either. And 3 minutes in, net worth difference still pretty minimal.
He has much of an advantage so far. I mean, Xorn's annoying, and I think Kalka, and this is why they put him on that Lunox, to be a little self-sustaining in the lane, right? Can't lose that hard, and neither can he win too hard, especially in a 2v1 scenario.
Xorn gonna run into matdinz in the tri-brush here. We can see in terms of the EXP difference, it's a lot easier for matdinz to open map on this Hilda. So definitely having the EXP lead right now over his opposing roamer.
Shout out to the observers here, allowing us to have a look at how much gold both supports actually have. It's 718 to 416. So far, just a lot more gold being earned by matdinz just by existing and spawning out his opponents. A tech pause has been called though, not entirely sure which side called for it. It looks like it is the GMXK side. We'll get those issues settled before we jump back in.
Hopefully it's not too big a deal, but here we can already see the huge difference that comes from getting vision for your team. As you mentioned, Gideon, having that Hilda to just open up the map by simply standing there is a lot safer and a lot easier than Xorn has to achieve with that Fanny. So being able to get that gold a lot more quickly. I do actually want to look at the scoreboard just to see whether or not they've already outfarmed their other laners, because that has been happening a lot.
It has been happening a lot, but considering that Xorn hasn't really shown up in lane other than to harass and then goes to the opposite side to check buffs, I don't think he's getting the individual EXP as well as the gold as often compared to matdinz, who's been hovering around that mid lane pretty consistently overall.
Yeah, we have to remember, it's not just vision gold you get from the roam revamp, it's also the fact that you will get extra gold and EXP as long as you're nearby when minions are taken by your teammates as well. So matdinz also able to do that a lot more easily since Xorn is operating mostly independently.
Keep in mind that this change also it doesn't take away from your initial laners. Your mid lane will not get taxed because of it. They will still receive full gold and EXP. This is a little bit of a tip for you for existing.
And it also creates interesting strategies, right? Because you do get a percentage of whatever gold your team did get from the minions. So you might want to go to gold or EXP just to get a little bit more of that. But looks like we are getting the signal to jump right back into the Land of Dawn.
All right, let's see the game state currently, because QT is not getting much pressure against Natco, but that's to be expected, right? Oh, now by bot side, though.
They're in trouble. 1v2. Turisla's tanky, but is he tanky enough? Gets the penalty zone in, but Brilliance keeps Clawkun topped up. They will pick up the kill. matdinz now coming in for the fight. Forces the flicker out from Clawkun. Pops the ultimate right into the mountain shocker. Jajaa comes in to get the kill. Gojes looking for a little bit of revenge. matdinz very low, but is able to dash away. And that means GMX gets a great trade down here.
It looks like there is investment on the Frost Shield. Looks like Gojes is spreading out his build a little bit more, because that shield was a little thicker than it probably should be at level 7. At this point, topside Chibi trying to steal away the buff. Oh, is he going to get punished here?
He gets stunned. Can dash away. Looks like GMX doesn't want to force the chase here.
They don't go for it, and they back away once more. QT finishing first item priority into that War Axe. The second turtle is now contestable. Oh, they give up the purple buff to Xorn. Conceal comes through.
Xorn gonna scout out 3 people in the tri-brush. The flicker penalty zone maybe a bit too far from munsters. Team's not ready to follow up. Natco flickers away. All 5 members of GMX in the top lane. They get the top tier 1, but the heavy spin gonna pin matdinz against the wall. Clawkun with the darkling 1 hit away from getting the last hit, but they're not able to finish it. Mountain Shocker misses entirely as well, and both teams will walk away.
How do we miss the Mountain Shocker on a stun target? How do we miss these? We can't be missing these. Mid lane about to get cracked wide open as GMXK. They thought they made the play on the opposite side, but losing a mid structure is devastating.
Xorn with the Petrify, looking for jajaa, 1 hit away. But that is definitely some damage done.
Xorn, he's been known to have the mechanics, and on stream you do get to see him play Fanny once in a while, ever so often, some may say. Being whipped out on a professional scene in this particular manner, oh man, it's like Yums all over again, right? The one time he plays Fanny support when he was under Todak, man, the last we'll ever see of it.
Good times, good times. Or nearly got stunned inside the tri-bush, is able to fly away for now. Looking at the goal lead, still actually pretty small. Going into the 6.5 minute mark, only about 700 in favor of Vamos, which means it's still anyone's game at this point. Looking for MQT, heavy spin comes in, it's a 3-man gank, and that's a kill for Clawkun.
Yep, and that's going to be top tier 1 collapsing under the pressure. But now they've instigated another fight by the riverside. Gojes can tank for a while, but that's a lot of spells being thrown at him, including matdinz. Attack. Oh, hold on. River's gonna pop. Are we gonna see a rotation here almost straight away from Xorn, or is he just gonna keep proxying away?
Well, he's already finished proxying, so he can definitely rotate over if necessary. GMX are on the turtle. They're trying to blitz it as fast as possible. matdinz and Munster providing vision. Gojes walking up. Chibi very close. Steals it with the retry. Penalty zone comes out, but Munster is way too low. They're chasing him down. 1 hit away. Dragon Pulse comes out. Natco gets the last hit, but the I'm offended in the flicker. Finds 2. That's gonna be 2 members down. Gojes and Natco picked off by GMXK. They come out on top.
They didn't realize that Natco got the worldie off in time, and matdinz died unnecessarily. Sorry, survived, but even so, chunking out QT like that, and even munsters, he's taking way too much damage at this point. We do see that jajaa is coming into his own, though. Second item complete. Endless battle, not even the War Axe. He wants to go for the initial burst because he wants to work alongside the item power spikes of QT. So far, he's almost gotten his own Hunter Strike, and even for Munster, he needs to make sure once he hits 2 items, he is going to be a beast. But for now, wants to go for early game damage with the Fury Hammer, goes straight into the Athena shield to protect himself against Clawkun.
I think that is definitely a respectable build. Munster knows that his team does want some scaling before they can really start coming online. So he's willing to take that sacrifice a little bit on his overall HP. Next Lord going to be quite a while away. Gojes gonna get caught in the Mount Shocker, but this is why Esme is so prioritized these days. So hard to kill.
Yep. It looks like Xorn has already finished a Malefic Roar as he continues to split push on the opposite side of the map. That means they're playing a 4-in-1 strategy where Natco is going to be the main anchor of Vamos while everybody else has to play around him. Checking out sight lines for him, spotting out ImQT and his 2 escorts to the bot side of the map.
It's Vamos slowly now taking control of more of the map. Xorn still continuing his split pushing. A bit difficult to stop this without MQT around, and this is the danger of only having one source of reliable crowd control against the Fanny.
Now we see that Vamos wants to continue the siege. Natco gonna get free hits on that tier 2 as munsters, and as well, unfortunately for ImQT, just cannot find the angle on key targets.
Traction Pull comes in, pulls in Chibi. I'm offended on Gojes as well, but this Esmeralda's so hard to kill, and they're still forcing the fight. Mountain Shocker catches Natco. Could be a bit far forward. Brilliance also used. VMX able to force out important resources, and now matdinz goes in, flickers on top of Clocker, not able to get the ultimate in time. He goes down. Heavy spin used to disengage. Vamos comes out with no casualties.
And that's exactly what we want to see, right? It's a push and pull until somebody overextends, and in this case, it's going to be matdinz side. Chibi played it very nicely as the tier 2 wave crashes. That tier 2 tower setup gone.
Macro play from Xorn starting to become very annoying. You thought this Fanny was trying to snowball up hills? No, the macro game is where it's at, says Xorn. His years of experience coming into play in a brand new map. Lord now going to be danced around by both teams.
Nobody wants to sit on it just yet, especially with the threat of Xorn looming around. It's forcing GMXK to stick closer together than ever, while even setting matdinz to deal with the top side wave. This is perfect though, because once again, Xorn ran out of his purple buff, came back to pick up his team's own one, and you can see that the EXP isn't really hurting Chibi that much.
It's a very interesting balance, because now that roams can get gold more easily, it's actually worth giving them some of the buff resources since they actually have the items to do damage. And Vamos already figuring out how to game the new roam.
Somebody needs to respond to Xorn here, and as soon as somebody does, we do notice that Vamos instantly takes control over the Lord, starts the initial pull, and Gojes is untouchable right now. The only person who can realistically kill him is probably jajaa and maima, but they need both of them together if they want to take down one guy.
And that's not even counting the Akai that would be breathing down their necks. Vamos finally building up a 2,000 gold lead as we enter the 11-minute mark. The Lord going to be aggroed over to their side, but GMX just cannot commit. Xorn is too difficult to handle.
See how difficult they're going to be. Jajaa is the only hope for them to actually start scaling. He's already level 14, 11 minutes and 33 seconds into the game. As he buys a BOD as well. Third item's already complete. Now, let's have a look at the item list one last time. High damage items coming in from jajaa, but he needs that space, something which Vamos has denied him consistently.
Xorn is the richest person on his team, by the way. That's the kind of situation we're looking at these days with the roam revamp. And even though matdinz was out farming him initially, has not been able to make as much of an impact now, falling quite behind in gold. The Lord still being slowly aggroed by both sides. Vamos is just buying time at this point.
Yep, they're buying as much time as they possibly can. I think they're waiting for Natco to hit his third item before they actually look to fight this. They know that jajaa is in a really powerful position, and because of the buffs that Chibi has been giving over and holding this Lord, allows jajaa to stay ahead.
Lord is finally dropping low. Chibi secures it. Munster misses the penalty zone entirely. Has to flicker away from the heavy spin. I'm offended! MQT with a massive catch! Xorn comes in a bit late, does manage to pick off Munster, but that was definitely not worth it for Vamos.
Not worth it at all, but it does give GMXK some hope. They're going to take a bottom tier 1 for all of
that. Places himself in between. Not going to decide to push the issue though. The Lord is... places himself in between. Not going to decide to push the issue though. The Lord is breathing down their necks.
Like, oh, that's Retri already. Slow one target down. Munster gets put down to 1. And at this point, controlling the mid game has gone well for Vamos, right? All outer turrets have collapsed. No super big conversions just yet. GMXK has been playing very defensively with a few deaths on their side due to overextensions. We look at the gold, 959 off of the boots alone.
We have to know that's actually only half the gold cap you're actually allowed to get from these items in total. So that's actually quite insane.
Wow!
In comparison, matdinz has gotten nearly all of it at 1.6k gold from Vision, but he's still so behind in farm compared to Xorn, who has been given basically a free lane the entire time.
A free lane as well as free purple buffs from a jungler who doesn't really need them. That's kind of wild, but Xorn, he's already baited out the Mountain Shocker early on, as well as the Turtle Boat. They're not going to have access to it for the next couple, well, at least for the next minute. Vamos have a window here to punish, but I don't think matdinz is going to allow him. He's died one time this game, and he wants to maintain it at just one.
He does have the immortality, so he's going to be able to play a lot more aggressively than before. Natco going to be hitting level 15 as well. The scaling for Vamos also starting to kick in. In a direct team fight situation, GMX does probably have the advantage, but Vamos is playing the map.
To continue to rotate around. Oh, Winter Crown by Munster. He really is just an engage tool at this point, right? He's not even thinking about his own survivability. He's thinking about getting in, being tank enough, hoping the Athena shield is going to keep him protected from people who have crits already inbuilt at this point. Something to think about. Something to think about for Munster.
And now that we've reached this point in the game, Munster's goal is basically just to eat as much damage as possible, get a good penalty zone, and then buy time. And he's been doing an okay job of that, but there have definitely been situations where he may have overextended and not allowed his team to really connect as well as he could have.
Yeah, could be slightly better, but GMXK...
Oh, the flicker! Oh, beautiful dash from Natco, dodges it entirely. Here comes the rest of GMX. Xorn coming in to do the shred damage, but it's not quite enough. Mountain Shocker going to hit Claw Hood. GMX in full disengage mode. Munster holding the front, but Impunity unfortunately left on the flank. Natco doing the damage. The Bruno starting to hit hard. Winter Crown comes out. Definitely not the way Munster wanted to use it. That's a double kill for Natco. As Vamos are running down their opponents. Gojes still difficult to remove, but finally falls to matdinz.
He may be a thick boy, but unfortunately, even the thickest will have to fall. The Lord is about to spawn in just a little bit, and now you see that Vamos, they want to close out this game while this Luminous Lord is still available. Chibi hiding in the shadows, right? Doesn't want to reveal, finds an angle!
Flank, two-man heavy speed pin, Chibi! The jungler of Vamos showing that he is not washed up at all. Vamos secures the fight. Jajaa, the only one left. There is no way to contest this Lord anymore.
Yep, nothing that Jajaa can really do. Just take that orange and walk away. Man, I was expecting so much more for GMXK, especially within the first 4 to 6 minutes where you do actually have relevant damage and a pressure from Ruby, and as well as that to Rizla. But right now, both side laners doing an abysmal job, getting picked off one after the other.
Unfortunately, we can really see the lack of experience showing here on GMX. They definitely have the tools. They may not know the right way to use them. Chibi literally just dashes into the base right here to zone. Takes a good amount of damage. I'm offended, pulls him in. Heavy spin going to be used, but Chibi actually does end up falling. It is in exchange for the inhib though, and Xorn still doing damage down here.
Yeah, he's been able to split push basically for free. No one's necessarily stopping him, and I think that ImQT would like to catch him, but half the time Xorn is playing around those parameters. With the Lord already pushing, they've got their mid wave. No, actually the waves are not synced at all. It looks like it is a cascading style of minions pushing.
Yeah, that's definitely not ideal, though I think it's because Vamos was really trying to push for that bottom inhibitor as well. Looks like they might even be able to get it since GMX has sent literally everyone to deal with the Lord. Luckily for them, no minions, so Vamos don't get a cheeky free tower there.
Gojes, still tanky as ever. You can see the relevant damage coming around from Jajaa. That one Traceless already taking at least 1/8 of his health. ImQT, I'm still waiting for the big I'm offended at this point. I think that's one of the few ways they could look for a win.
Got a big one in that first Lord fight, but ever since then, Vamos have been specifically avoiding funneling up since they are well aware that is basically GMX's only tool.
I mean, that and Terizla, but so far, one's doing significantly better than the other.
Already, we see the recall spams as expected of the villains. Gojes will walk into the bush. Xorn also gonna start scouting out. They do see all members of GMX here. They want this purple.
And now they continue to try and contest for that purple as Chibi gets chunked out. They should be able to walk away from this. I still see. Oh, hold on.
Onto Gojes. Doesn't really do anything.
Negative damage. He's stronger than ever before. He actually looks like he has more health now, to be fair.
He didn't even need to use his purifier. Here comes Xorn, nearly burst maima in an instant. Will have to fly out, but they're able to get that inhibitor. MQT also going to be pinned with the heavy spin. Natco gets the kill. Mount Jocker doing some good damage. Natco flickers away, but matdinz is the only one chasing him. And Clockun's also delaying the pursuit. That's another member of GMX down in an instant. It is now 5v3. Vamos looking for the end game on the base. Xorn flying around, flexing on his opponents. They know this is it as long as they do this right. Clockun with brilliance jumps in, does big bursts of damage. Jajaa loses the immortality. Xorn as well, but he's under the tower. Natco going for the crystal. Munster will come back from his immortality. Will fall in quick succession, but they do find Natco. Will that be worth it? It's a trade on shutdowns. Vamos is still in the base. They want the crystal. They don't have a lot of minions left. GMX actually doing a great job of holding maima. Last one left though, and that is going to be it. A double kill.